Imagine that one perfect sentence, just a handful of words delivered at the precise moment, could make a woman feel immediately attracted to you, not due to your appearance, not because of your career, but because your words stirred something profound within her, something emotional, something genuine. Imagine speaking in a way that makes her pause, grin, and see you differently without needing to impress her or demonstrate anything. The 6 expressions I'm about to reveal today aren't gimmicks. They're powerful tools. These words are rooted in psychology, emotion, and how people genuinely bond. When you deliver them correctly, they ignite something within her. Curiosity, attraction, and emotional resonance. They reverse the typical dynamic. Rather than you pursuing her, something within her begins gravitating toward you. When you grasp how women experience emotions and bond on a deeper level, and you communicate in a way that reaches that emotional core you no longer need to pursue, she starts to recognize something uncommon in you, something worth keeping close. These expressions linger in her thoughts well after the conversation is over. Before we begin, do something that matters. Press that subscribe button. By doing so, you're not just helping yourself improve. You're helping this message find men across the globe who are exhausted from feeling overlooked, exhausted from being trapped in the friend zone, exhausted from not being recognized for who they truly are. Your support helps this channel expand. And as we expand, we help more men create better lives, including yours. Now, let's explore the words that reach her heart, even before she realizes why. Expression 1, you have a distinctive quality about you. I appreciate that. Most men attempt to capture a woman's attention by praising her appearance. They say things such as, "You're incredibly gorgeous," or "You look stunning tonight." And yes, those compliments sound pleasant, but women receive them constantly. It's not that women dislike kind words. They enjoy them, but most of those compliments feel hollow, as though they've been repeated 100 times already. They don't feel intimate. They don't ignite emotion. But then comes this one simple statement. You have a distinctive quality about you. I appreciate that. Instantly, everything shifts. This expression is potent because it doesn't merely offer attention, it offers recognition. And that's what many women genuinely desire. Not merely to be noticed, but to be understood. It's a gentle, intriguing sentence. It makes her pause and wonder, what does he mean? What aspect of me caught his attention? Perhaps it was the way she laughed. Perhaps it was how she shared a story or the way she spoke with enthusiasm about something she treasures. This is when her mind gets to work, attempting to decode what you noticed in her that was distinctive. That's where the emotional bond starts. Not through boasting, not through flirting, but through curiosity and intrigue. You're not handing her all the answers. You're offering her a peek, and that drives her to learn more about what you perceive and about you. Now, let's examine how to deliver this statement properly. Don't use it merely to appear interesting. Use it when a genuine moment arises. When she reveals something personal or laughs in a way that's entirely her own or shares a story that shows who she truly is. At that moment, you pause. Allow the silence to settle for just a second. Gaze at her with calm, steady presence. Then gently and plainly speak the words, "You have a distinctive quality about you. I appreciate that. Your delivery is everything." Say it as though you've just witnessed something rare, as if you just uncovered something meaningful. Do not say it too quickly. Don't over-explain it. The strength of this statement lies in how quiet and effortless it feels. You're not attempting to charm her. You're truly seeing her. And that's uncommon. Because here's the reality. Most men don't realize. Many women feel emotionally invisible. People may observe how they look, but very few invest the time to notice how they think, how they laugh, or what energizes them when they talk. That's where this statement resonates deeply. You're conveying, I recognize something special in you that others miss. And the greatest part, when she feels recognized in that manner, she will want to share even more. She'll share more stories. She'll want to reveal more of who she truly is. And gradually, she'll start to associate the feeling of being recognized with you. That emotional connection will be deeper than any pickup line, compliment, or effort to impress. So yes, use this expression, but only when it feels authentic. Deliver it with the quiet confidence of a man who focuses on what truly counts. That moment will remain with her, and so will you. Expression 2. I admire women who know what they desire. This is among the most undervalued expressions a man can deliver. On the surface, it appears to be a compliment, but at its foundation, it's something considerably more powerful. It's a subtle challenge, a benchmark, a filter. Most men, particularly when they're attracted to a woman, instinctively attempt to earn her approval. They say things they believe she wants to hear. They agree too readily. They grin too often. They work too hard to impress her, hoping that if they're charming, clever, or witty enough, she'll pick them. But what that creates, without them recognizing it, is a shift in the energy. Now she's the reward and he's the one pursuing. He's performing. He's proving his worth. And whether women are completely conscious of it or not, that energy grows predictable and eventually tiresome. But when you gaze at a woman directly, calm, collected, and self-assured, and you state, I admire women who know what they desire, everything transforms. You're no longer chasing her validation. You're not working to win her over. You're expressing a preference, a standard. And that gently shifts the conversation from, am I worthy enough for her? To, does she match what I'm seeking? It's a minor shift with an enormous effect because now she's the one proving herself worthy to you. She begins to wonder, do I appear confident to him? Do I give the impression that I know what I want? Am I living up to his standard? That inner self-questioning is precisely what creates attraction on a much deeper level. You're not only perceived as selective, but you're also sending a message she rarely ever hears. You're not accessible to just anybody. And here's the psychology behind why this lands so effectively. Women deeply respect men who possess clarity. Clarity in thinking, clarity of direction, and clarity within their principles. By saying, I like women who know what they want, you're showing your attraction to clarity in others, which mirrors the clarity you carry within yourself. That renders you strong, grounded, and dependable. That's uncommon and incredibly attractive. Now, the timing of this statement is important. It works best in moments when she's displaying some degree of decisiveness or leadership. Perhaps she orders with confidence at a restaurant. Perhaps she firmly shares her perspective. Perhaps she tells you what she's searching for in life. That's the moment you deliver this line. You meet her gaze directly. You give a slight nod and say it with quiet appreciation. I'm drawn to women who know what they want. Then pause. Let it land. Don't follow it up with anything weak or apologetic. You're not saying it to gain her approval. You're simply stating what you value. And when you hold that stance with composed energy, it generates a form of emotional gravity. It draws her closer to you. It's also remarkably effective when she asks you what kind of woman you prefer. Most men would stumble and say something along the lines of, I don't really have a type, or someone who's kind. That's vague and forgettable. Instead, if you calmly answer with, I like women who know what they want, you accomplish two things simultaneously. You convey strength and you ignite a challenge. She'll now be evaluating herself against your standard. And here's the crucial part. Once you say it, behave in alignment with it. If she's indecisive, insecure, or unreliable, don't pursue. Because if you pursue someone who doesn't meet the standard you voiced aloud, your words lose their power. But if you remain grounded, composed, and consistent, she'll notice the difference. She'll recognize that you're not merely talking, you're embodying that standard. That's when the real shift occurs. She begins investing more in the conversation. She leans in a bit closer. She opens up. She starts wanting to be perceived as the type of woman who knows what she wants. And that's not manipulation. It's magnetism. It's a healthy dynamic where both people rise to each other's energy, not playing games. So remember, don't speak to impress, speak to convey your values. And this one simple phrase, "I like women who know what they want," will reverse the dynamic from you chasing her to her wondering how to maintain your interest. Phrase 3, "That's what I admire most about you." This might seem like a minor phrase, but when you deliver it at the right moment with the right energy, it becomes remarkably powerful. It's not merely a compliment. It's something greater. It makes her feel noticed, truly noticed. And for most women, that experience is uncommon. Emotional recognition doesn't occur frequently. And when it does, it stays with them. Here's the reality. Most compliments women receive focus on the exterior. "You look gorgeous. I love your outfit. Your smile is stunning." Now, sure, those are pleasant things to hear, but they vanish quickly. They don't make a lasting impression. Why? Because nearly every man says identical things. It's simple to observe what's on the surface. But this phrase, "That's what I like most about you," reaches deeper. It demonstrates that you've been noticing something genuine, something beneath the exterior, something that most men entirely overlook. It transforms an ordinary moment into an unforgettable one. Let's examine this closely. Imagine she's discussing her life. Not just what she does, but why she does it. Perhaps her eyes brighten when she mentions helping people. Or perhaps she speaks with quiet resolve about something she's passionate about. That's the moment you slow down. You maintain eye contact. You speak with calm clarity. "That's what I admire most about you." And then you explain what you mean. The depth of how much you care. It's uncommon. It's genuine. And then go silent. Let the quiet do the work. That silence is everything. Because now you're not merely praising her appearance or attempting to win her over. You're acknowledging who she is. And when a woman feels truly understood, not just appreciated, she opens up, she relaxes, she becomes more authentic with you, and that forges connection. You've reached something deep, and she'll hold on to it. But here's the important part. Don't overuse this phrase. Don't say it to every woman. Don't say it merely to sound profound. Say it only when it's genuine, when she reveals her true self, when she's being generous without seeking attention, or when she shares a vulnerable story, or when she speaks with quiet assurance. That's your moment. That's when you say that right there. "That's what I admire most about you." Say it with sincerity, not as a performance, but as a truth you've just uncovered. When you deliver that, the emotional impact is genuine. She feels drawn toward you because you didn't merely look at her. You truly saw her. You revealed to her that what makes her genuinely valuable is something profound. Not her appearance, not her figure, not even her words, but the essence behind them. That is something the majority of men never do. Here's something powerful. When you use this phrase, you're not just complimenting her, you're also shaping how she perceives herself. You're illuminating the parts of her that truly matter. And perhaps nobody has ever done that before. That's the type of moment that lingers in her heart. That's what keeps her thinking about you well after the conversation is over. So keep in mind, the strongest form of attraction is emotional. When you make her feel valued for who she is, she won't forget it, and neither will you. That's what I admire most about you. Simple words, profound effect. Phrase for "you make things feel easy to talk about." This phrase might sound gentle, but don't let that deceive you. It's powerful. It taps into one of the deepest emotional needs that most women carry. The need to feel emotionally secure and free to express themselves without being judged, hurried, or misunderstood. Women, just as men do, carry heavy expectations, pressure, assumptions, and past wounds. And in most conversations, particularly with guys trying to impress them, they frequently feel the need to filter themselves, play a role, or conceal what they truly think. But when you look her in the eyes and say, "You make things feel easy to talk about," you're doing what most men never do. You're affirming not just what she's saying, but how she makes you feel at ease, present, open, and that changes everything. Because now, rather than her being the one working to earn your attention, you're demonstrating that you appreciate the energy she brings into the room, that you respect her presence, not merely her looks or words. Let's go further. This phrase isn't only about comfort. It's about connection. When someone feels easy to talk to, it means your guard drops. And when you express that to her, you're not being weak. You're being genuine. And genuineness is magnetic. Use this phrase when she's opened up. When the conversation flows naturally, when you sense that feeling of I can be myself around her, that's when it delivers maximum impact. You don't deliver it with a smirk. You say it in a calm, sincere tone, as though it's a quiet realization you just had. And when you do, something remarkable happens. She feels safe. She feels appreciated. She feels recognized, not for her appearance or her actions, but for the energy she brings into the moment. And that stays with her. She'll reflect on that. She'll replay that sentence in her mind, wondering to herself, why does it feel so good talking to him? Why do I feel more like myself when I'm around him? That's emotional imprint. That's how you become impossible to forget. Now, here's a tip. Don't over-elaborate. Let your tone and timing carry the weight. Say it when you genuinely feel comfortable with her. Perhaps you just shared something personal. Perhaps you're laughing freely. Perhaps the conversation turned deep and it just felt natural. That's when you deliver the line. You make things feel easy to talk about. Then pause. Let her absorb it. And remember, this isn't a pickup line. It's a reflection of emotional intelligence. The kind of awareness that separates a man who just talks from a man who truly connects. When she notices that you're not trying to impress, but instead you're present, curious, and grounded, that's when she begins opening up more. She'll begin sharing things she normally keeps to herself. She'll trust you deeper. And when a woman trusts you emotionally, attraction develops naturally. So employ this phrase. Use it when it's genuine. And say it not to provoke a reaction, but to offer a moment of recognition, a moment of peace. That's what she'll remember. That's what she'll desire again. Phrase 5. There's something about how you think that I deeply respect. This phrase targets one of the most undervalued forms of attraction, intellectual and emotional admiration. Most men don't venture there. They concentrate on appearance, energy, perhaps personality. But the mind that's seldom acknowledged. And yet, it's the part that women most want to feel recognized and appreciated for. Particularly women who are reflective, driven, and self-aware. This phrase conveys something powerful. You're not just hearing her. You're truly listening. You're engaging with her ideas and you admire them. Let's unpack this. When you say there's something about how you think that I deeply respect, you're accomplishing 3 key things at once. Key 1, you demonstrate depth. You're not merely attracted to how she looks or behaves. You're tuned in to how she views the world. Key 2, you spark curiosity. She'll immediately start wondering, which part of my thinking did he mean? What did I say that stirred that feeling in him? That mental loop keeps you in her thoughts. Key 3, you establish yourself as a high-value man because you're not chasing shallow validation. You're offering meaningful acknowledgement. That's uncommon. And it makes her feel like you're uncommon, too. This phrase lands best in a moment where she's being reflective or voicing an opinion. Perhaps she shares a thought about life, love, purpose, creativity, and she speaks with clarity or depth that captures your attention. That's when you hold eye contact, not intense, not theatrical, but with calm presence, and you say, there's something about how you think that I deeply respect. Then you let it linger. Don't over-elaborate. Don't say because you're intelligent or because you remind me of my cousin who's also a deep thinker. That destroys the power. Let the mystery do the work. Because here's the secret. You didn't merely compliment her intelligence. You praised the essence of her thoughts, the character of her mind. That makes her feel distinctly understood. And women, particularly high-value women, remember the men who make them feel that way. She'll begin to view you not as someone who's trying to win her over, but someone who's already deserving of her respect. That shifts everything completely. Here's an expert technique. Deploy this phrase after she reveals something personal, such as a story from her history, a choice she made, or a belief she carries. If she's reflective, deliberate, and authentic, even when you disagree, that's your moment. Deliver it slowly, deliver it calmly, and deliver it only when sincere. There's something about how you think that I deeply admire. She might not react immediately, but inside she'll feel profoundly recognized, not merely noticed, but treasured. And that more than any phrase, any charisma, any flattery is what draws her back to the conversation over and over. Because when a woman feels respected for her intellect, not merely her appearance or feelings, you forge a bond that most men cannot even fathom. One that doesn't vanish the following day, one that lingers in her thoughts. So never undervalue this phrase. Deploy it with purpose and watch the dynamic shift from ordinary to captivating. Phrase 6. You don't need to put on an act with me. I prefer the authentic you. This phrase may be the most disarming one yet. Not because it charms, but because it liberates. In a world where countless women feel pressured to appear flawless, sound ideal, be constantly fascinating or remarkable, this phrase grants them permission to breathe. And that emotional release is where genuine connection resides. Most men, without knowing it, make women feel as though they're under evaluation through body language, through praise that only targets appearance, or by attempting to impress in return. But when you tell her, you don't need to put on an act with me, I prefer the authentic you, you shatter that cycle. You provide safety, not vulnerability, but emotional security. And that's magnetic. Here's why this resonates so deeply. You're communicating that her unpolished self is sufficient, perhaps even more appealing than the version she believes she must display. And that's something extremely few women hear from a man they're attracted to. She might be laughing louder than usual, speaking a bit fast, working to maintain the energy. Or perhaps she reveals a moment of insecurity, attempting to recover with charm. That's when you move closer with steady energy and deliver it. You don't need to put on an act with me. I prefer the authentic you. Deliver it with gentleness, not as a challenge, not to extract something from her, just as an honest observation. And what you'll notice almost immediately is her body language shift. She'll ease up. Her smile will turn more authentic. Her voice might soften because that barrier, the one she didn't even realize she was maintaining, will begin to dissolve. This phrase succeeds because it communicates something remarkably uncommon. You're not there to be amused. You're there to bond. You don't require a rehearsed performance. You're attracted to the aspects of her that feel unguarded. The unrestrained laugh, the fervent tangents, the unexpected stories. And here's the magic of it. When she trusts that you find worth in her authentic self, she starts to reveal more of it. That creates trust. And trust fuels desire at a depth no scripted line ever could. But here's the crucial part. Only deliver this when the moment is genuine. When you truly sense you're seeing past the facade. If she's putting on a show or acting somewhat and then shifts into something genuine, that's your moment. And don't overdo it. If you deliver this to everyone or if you push it too soon, it rings hollow. But when it's genuine and your presence matches your language, she will carry that moment forever. Because very few people, much less men, ever declare, "You're sufficient exactly as you are." So what does this phrase truly accomplish? It dissolves defenses. It establishes emotional safety. It opens a shared space where genuine connection can flourish. And within that space, attraction becomes natural because she's no longer striving to capture your attention. She's simply existing and sensing that's at last sufficient. That's when the dynamic stops resembling a contest and starts resembling something genuine. Now you possess something most men never will. The words that move a woman, not on the exterior, but deep within. These 6 phrases aren't scripts to dazzle. They're keys. Keys to bonding, feeling, and loyalty. Because once you quit seeking validation and begin speaking with purpose, everything transforms. You're no longer wondering what succeeds. You're guiding with awareness. You're not merely uttering words. You're crafting moments she won't forget. Remember, the goal isn't to appear clever or polished. The goal is being genuine, composed, and centered. Speak less, but convey more. Talk with assurance, not volume. That's what draws her closer. That's what lets her experience something different with you, something authentic. And now I want to request one thing. If this video helped you perceive things in a new way, if you discovered something today that could transform how you relate to women, back this channel. Tap that subscribe button. Leave a like if the message resonated. Post a comment below sharing which phrase struck you the deepest. Or even better, which one you plan to use this week. And pass this along to a man you care about. Because far too many guys are still out there guessing, struggling, and missing the mark. When you back this channel, you're helping create a space where emotional awareness meets genuine attraction. No tricks, no deception, just honesty, development, and self-assurance. This is Stoic Pro, and we don't merely discuss becoming stronger men, we embody it. So until next time, maintain your standards high, your language purposeful, and your presence steady. The right woman will sense it, and she won't forget you.